and welcome to episode 56 of Speaking Wrestling with Elvis Arroyo. And as always, I am your host, Elvis Arroyo. And on today's episode, we are speaking all of professional wrestling. We're going to be covering WWE. We're also going to be talking about AEW, NXT, Raw, Smackdown, Money in the Bank 2020, and also talk about some MLW. And also, we're going to give you guys MVPs and floppers of the week, guys, so stick around for that. But as always, guys, I want to give you a reminder that you can get in touch with this podcast and follow us over on Twitter at Speaking Wrestle, Instagram at Speaking Wrestling, and subscribe to us over at YouTube. Hit the like button and subscribe, and let's get into it, guys. Let's not waste any time. So we're right now in the middle of a pandemic, of course, guys. And it's tough for so many companies. A lot of the big companies are letting go of a lot of people. And as always, WWE is a big company as well. And right now, we know that the big news that came out last week was all the releases of WWE superstars that got furloughed and let go, writers, referees as well. And some of the big names in that release were Rusev, also the Good Brothers, also Zack Ryder, Curt Hawkins, guys that have been there in the company for over 10 years, and also writers, guys like Billy Kidman got let go. That's really sad. Mike Chioda got let go, and it's really sad to see all these people go. But again, right now we got to think about all this going down. What's more important, and again, I feel bad for a lot of those, and especially some of those guys like I mentioned, Zack Ryder being one of those guys. I really thought that the company was always going to keep him, and Curt Hawkins. And joining me on today's show is a big Zack Ryder fan who when he heard the news, he was really disappointed. And once again, this is the second time joining us on the show. Welcome back, Avery Arroyo.
Thank you. My name is Avery Arroyo, and we are here on Speaking Wrestling, episode 56.
All right, thank you for the intro again. And so, Zack Ryder got let go a few weeks ago. How do you feel about that?
Really, really disappointed. Kind of a big surprise, too, because I think the last time we saw him was at Elimination Chamber with him and Curt versus the Viking Raiders.
Yeah, and that was a few weeks ago too, and also Curt Hawkins, who it's his second time back in the company, and really did a lot of good stuff on this coming back around. He's also going to be missed. Rusev, what do you think about Rusev being gone?
Man, he should have been let go a long time ago.
You really think so? Let go a long time ago?
Maybe.
Okay. Yeah. And there's also, what about the Good Brothers? Gallows and Anderson, surprise or no? Those guys have been wanting to get out.
Man, it is a surprise because they were just having that kind of rivalry with the Undertaker and AJ.
Yeah, I know. They just worked WrestleMania. I saw them a few weeks ago in that main event match on the night one of WrestleMania. So to see those guys go out after just being in a main event spot like that, it's a surprise. And also, they were working with AJ Styles, this whole time, doing that whole the club or the OC thing, which was really good. It turned out great. I really liked that they were working with AJ Styles, who's a main event superstar. But the big question is, with all these releases, is where are these superstars going to go? Are they going to go to AEW? I think that's where everybody would think and hope that a lot of these superstars are going to end up in. Or are they going to end up in Ring of Honor? Are they going to go to MLW, New Japan? Or are they just going to work the indies? Or some of these are just going to retire? Guys like Heath Slater, who he's another one of these guys who's been there for a long time, original member of the Nexus. He's looking for a job. He's got kids. Where do you think a guy like Heath Slater is going to end up?
Not sure. Maybe NWA.
I think NWA, yeah, there you go. That's another brand that's out there right now with a lot of big names down there. What about a guy like Rusev? Rusev should have been released a long time ago, but a guy like his size, he can really work with a lot of big guys, a lot of big, strong guys. Where does a guy like Rusev end up?
I'm not really sure. I think either Impact Wrestling or probably AEW.
AEW, okay. AEW would be good. They're in the States right now, and it's a low schedule, so he probably wouldn't have to work so much. Where does a guy like your guy, Zack Ryder, where does a guy like Zack Ryder end up?
Ooh, that is a tough one.
Is Zack Ryder done with wrestling? Should he focus on other stuff? He's got a podcast going on. Also, Maria and Mike Kanellis were let go, and they have a podcast now, which was very predictable. But where do you think these people go? What do you think they're gonna do? I mean, if you were a wrestler let go in this time, what would you do? Would you go to another promotion, or would you try to do something else? Maybe get into movies? Would you maybe try to
Ooh.
do TV? Right? Some of these guys are really talented. Where do you think these guys end up?
A lot of them are probably gonna end up in AEW.
AEW, you think that? Okay, well, that's yet to be seen. What about the Revival? They're a team that didn't get let go because of this whole pandemic, but but they were released because they asked for their release and they were waiting for their contracts to end. So, what do you think about the Revival? Do they go to NWA or do they go to AEW?
Well, a lot of people predictions are AEW, but I disagree with that, and I think they might go to NWA.
And yeah, so do I. I think they're going to go to NWA. I think they're going to want to become the NWA Tag Team Champions before it's all said and done. Before they go to AEW and conquer that and show them what tag team wrestling's all about. But other questions. We're talking about where are all these superstars going. That's what's been in the news. Let's talk about Raw. What's been going on Raw lately? You got Seth Rollins going after Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship. What do you think about that matchup as we get closer to Money in the Bank?
It's gonna be a good match. Finally, again, Seth Rollins in the main picture. The last time he was in the main picture was with, you know, the Fiend, but definitely good for Rollins. Drew most likely won't lose this match because he just won it a few weeks ago. But yeah, uh, overall, it's probably going to be a good match.
Okay, and but I like what you said. It's good for Seth Rollins that he's in the main event because he hasn't been in the main event for quite a while since the Bray Wyatt. But I mean, a little bit strange that he just lost to Kevin Owens at WrestleMania and he's the number one contender for the WWE Championship. But that's for a podcast for another day as we get closer to Money in the Bank. Also, over going on Raw. What do you think about Zelina Vega and her just taking over Monday Night Raw? Do you think it's good? Do you like her, or are you kind of getting tired of it by now?
By now, I'm getting quite tired of it. You know, I think a few weeks ago, where it was Andrade versus Drew, all three of them had a match. You got Theory. Well, Theory didn't have a match then, but he had a match next Monday. But you got two of her guys in the same night.
Working out there. Yeah, I know what you mean. I really like the work that she's doing right now, but with Raw right now, it seems like it's gone back to being a repetitive show and quite boring, not interesting. We're going back into those times where watching Raw is really hard to watch. Let's go over to SmackDown. Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman, Universal Championship. That match is getting closer. Bailey taking on Tamina for the WWE SmackDown Championship. That's going to be on the line over on Money in the Bank for the SmackDown brand. But over on the SmackDown brand, let's talk about Money in the Bank, a little bit of the ladder match. Let's not do a prediction. But what do you think about the competitors so far that have been in this match? Guys like Apollo Crews that are going to be Aleister Black and going to be in this matchup. What do you think about some of the young talent getting an opportunity?
This is really good for them, especially I think it to be good for television. A lot of cruiserweights like Apollo Crews and Rey Mysterio, because after all, it is a ladder match, so you know a lot of jumps off of ladders and stuff.
Yeah, so do I. I agree that this Money in the Bank is going to be probably the most interesting one, especially since it's going to be at the WWE headquarters and it's going to be on top of the building. So can't wait for that. Also, let's get into some other wrestling. We're going to talk about some quite other stuff. What's going on? AEW. You've been watching AEW. I've been watching some of it. You know, the last few weeks of it. What's been going on this week? Talk to me about Darby Allin and Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, so yesterday they actually had a match for a contender spot and for the TNT Championship. Cody won that match. Overall, a great match. They stole each other's moves.
Yeah, I think that pretty much says it all. probably like most of their matches. Tell me what's going on also with Moxley. It's been a while since we've seen Moxley. Is he coming back?
Yes, actually, I think next week he is going to go against somebody. I'm not. We know who it is. I forgot, but he's gonna be in action next week.
All right. Well, good to see Moxley back in action next week in AEW. And also, I hear that you've been watching some other promotions that you want to talk about. What's been going on over on MLW?
Yeah, it's really good right now. They have their Super Series with AAA right now, and it's really good because it's a mixture of MLW guys and these lucha libre basically.
Mm-hmm. Down in AAA. So you're getting kind of a AAA versus MLW vibe going for a series. And what's been going on in that series?
Well, so far I'm pretty sure MLW is winning 4-2, but we still have a couple weeks left.
Okay. And is there what's going on with the championship there? Who's still the champion on MLW?
Jacob Fatu is, and I'm pretty sure his next opponent might be Pungano, I think is his name, from AEW not AEW, AAA, that MLW just signed him. So he's probably going to be the next contender.
Okay, awesome. Good to know about that. Anything else?
Yeah, I also want to talk about that MLW might be suing AAA actually for this referee thing that the referees are counting slow on MLW guys. I mean, it is home field advantage. So I think AAA might win because they're using AAA referees, but maybe the next few weeks they use MLW referees.
So what do you mean that they're slow counting?
It's just like 1, 2, and then you have so much time to kick out.
And they're doing that all the time?
At least probably once every match.
To everybody that goes for a cover?
Every MLW guy.
Oh, okay. Only MLW guys are getting the slow counts?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the
AAA
guys can easily kick out.
Yeah, so the AAA referees are trying to screw over the MLW guys because they're in Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Pretty interesting stuff there. That sounds really good. So what are some of the matchups that happened in that series that you like so far?
Well, we had a street fight match with two of AAA's guys, and Warner and Savio Vega.
Mm-hmm.
It was a Mexico street fight, really good.
A lot of blood?
Yeah.
A lot of blood?
Yeah.
Bad. A lot of tables broken?
Yeah.
Chairs?
There was actually a fire table that
fire? Holy shit.
Someone went through a fire table.
Was it like ECW?
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right. So that's what's going on in MLW, guys. Seriously, guys, if you're not watching MLW by now, I've been saying it for like a year. Oh, by the way, Speaking Wrestling turned 1 year this past week, so thank you to everybody that's been listening. Thank you so much to everybody. I swear it means a lot. But yeah, I've been telling you guys almost since day one of this podcast, check out MLW Wrestling. It's for free episodes on YouTube. Check them out right now. Since we're in the middle of this quarantine, you can binge on like a year's worth of episodes and you'll watch some of the best stuff. So I highly recommend MLW, guys. If you haven't not watched, or if you're watching, guys, please support. So let's move on to some other things before we wrap up this quick show, guys, for you guys. And again, thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. And thank you so much to Avery. Like we always do on this show, we do what to watch. That's where I give you guys something that just random to watch, something that pops in my mind, something I hear on a podcast, and then gets me thinking, hey, I want to go home and watch that. But me and Avery have been watching some old, or Avery and I have been watching some old classic wrestling. We've been going back and watching some. What did we see lately? We saw some
Raw, some old Raw.
We saw Raw and some WCW. But
yeah,
what else have we seen?
Well, I mean, we saw that one episode of Raw where this is like an era where it's Stone Cold's there and Eric Bischoff's not even there. And Like, he's all the way in Texas, and we have a guest general manager, basically.
Okay, so you're talking about the Raw episode where Eric Bischoff is looking for Stone Cold Steve
Yes.
Austin and trying to get him back into the company after Stone Cold left in 2002 and took his ball home. So is that right? This is the episode
This is the episode where he goes all across Texas trying to find him.
Wow. All right, guys. Well, stick that in your guys' search box. On WWE Network, guys, I think it was like February 3rd or February like something. Anyways, 2003, guys, check it out. It's got to be, it's the first February.
Yeah, February 3rd, basically.
Yeah, it's like the first February after the January of 2003. Check that out, guys. It was a great episode, fun episode to watch. And this is where I give you guys my MVPs and floppers of the week. Avery, if you can think of really quickly of one person that you want to give an MVP from any company, and one person that you just think is like terrible. Think of that person right now. But I'm gonna go first, really quickly. Come on. I'm gonna go MVP. I wanted to go with Akira Tozawa, but man, because he's just been really great jobbing it out during this whole thing with no audience during the Raw shows. But I'm gonna go with MVP. Keith Lee, man, this guy is amazing. He had another terrific title defense for his North American Championship against Damian Priest this past NXT episode. Great main event matchup. Two big guys going at it. Man, Keith Lee right now is just, he makes everybody great. I think would be a great guy if you're a superstar you want to work with, because he's going to make you better and you know you're going to have a great match. And once again, North American Championship, tearing it up. That title is just a title to watch out for. And my flopper of the week, someone that's just just not been doing it for me the last couple of weeks, and someone that I would just deem a flopper. I'm gonna go with Bailey. I just kind of been a little bit annoyed by her the last couple of weeks, and especially her on commentary. I think that she could not be so gimmicky about her character lately. So that's my MVPs and floppers. Avery, you got an MVP?
Yeah, well, this is actually two people. It's a tag team, and I'm going to give it to Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross.
Wow, I'm surprised by that. I thought you were going to say someone like, I don't know, Darby Allin or someone else, but that's a surprise. So Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, the Raw or the women's tag team champions in WWE. That's a good pick. I like them. They're really hardworking. A flopper of the week?
I'm gonna say Sheamus, because I'm just getting bored of his matches.
Really?
Yes.
Oh man, I would have said he could have been an MVP for me this week. I think Sheamus is he's badass, man. This is a badass Sheamus. I like this version of Sheamus. I can't wait to see him go against Jeff Hardy, his first opponent.
Probably.
I mean, I don't like that, because that means Jeff Hardy's going to either get killed or he's going to beat Sheamus. I think he's going to do a roll-up win and get a win against Sheamus, and then they'll do a long rivalry into the summer. Should be good.
SummerSlam.
Yeah, SummerSlam. All right, guys, we're going to wrap this show up. Thank you guys so much again to making it through another episode of Speaking Wrestling. Once again, guys, you can subscribe to this podcast over on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button. Don't forget, you can follow us over on Instagram at Speaking Wrestling, Twitter at Speaking Wrestle, email at speakingwrestling@gmail.com, guys. And also, I want to give a quick shout out to the Half K podcast and also the Double Turn podcast. Give a follow to those guys. Those guys have been really good at supporting this podcast, so big shout out to those guys. And also, Avery, you want to give a shout out to anybody? Zack Ryder and Curt Hawkins?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right, guys. Thank you so much. Episode 56. We'll do it again next week as we get closer to Money in the Bank. We'll do a full run of the Money in the Bank predictions, guys. Join us for that. And that's going to do it, guys. Good night, Australia. Do it again next time. Bye-bye.